On the show today, we're going to be talking about the skill set that you need as an entrepreneur, your business location, market expansion plans, and market disruption. Hello and welcome to the Ask DK show. This is episode 5 and I'm Dylan Kolstad. On this show we give you, the entrepreneur, the opportunity to ask us any questions and we will answer it to the best of our abilities. So really exciting week ahead. I've been meeting with a couple of prospective clients. I've been meeting with prospective strategic partners and in general just having a look at the London scene and figuring out whether there is a need for what we do. There's nothing like being on the ground for actually determining whether you can add value here, and I think that's the main thing: is can you add value? Do people need what you sell? And then make contact with them as quickly as you can. Question number 1: what do you need to study to be a successful entrepreneur? So this is a tricky one. If you haven't studied marketing or finance, accounting, that kind of thing, I would suggest a short course on that, because it's really good to know the principles. And I think that the two biggest pillars of running any successful business is marketing and accounting. So you need to know about the numbers. Are you making money? Are you losing money? How to manage your cash flow? And secondly, you need to know how to market your business, how to get sales. So if you've done that and you've got that behind your belt, you can do a short course. It doesn't have to be a long course, doesn't have to be complicated. The other thing I would suggest is that you read copiously. So this is something I've really started to implement in my life. There's the rule of 5. Top entrepreneurs read 5 books a month. 5 books. So every single successful entrepreneur out there is reading books while you're sitting watching TV. So instead of watching TV time and dedicating yourself to being on top of the latest series, what I suggest you do is to pick up one of the best selling business books out there, and there's so many. You just literally have to commit to it. I've joined a book club, and what I love about this book club is you have to commit to 15 pages a day. So you can very quickly fall behind if you don't stay up to date. So I'm reading the thoughts of very clever people. So they're going to save me a whole lot of time when it comes to setting up my business. Save me a whole lot of time, save me a whole lot of money, because I don't have to make the same mistakes that they've made, and I can take all the same shortcuts that they've taken. So I've just finished Elon Musk. I'm busy with The Slight Edge now. I'm reading Moonshot by John Sinai. So many incredible books by so many incredible entrepreneurs, thought leaders. So I would suggest, the Lean Startup. What I can do is write an article for you on potentially the top 10 books to read as a successful entrepreneur. Alternatively, just Google it, because I think that there's plenty of books out there about how to be successful. And the main things that you need to focus on to save you money and to get you growing very, very quickly. Question number 2: where should I open my offices? Should I set up in Joburg, Cape Town, or Durban? So I just met with someone from the Department of Investment and Trade, and they chatted me through what would be involved in terms of establishing an outpost here in London, as opposed to in potentially Manchester in the north of the UK. So what we were chatting about was very pertinent to this, because I think what's really important is to have a soft landing. So a soft landing means that no matter where you open your next office or your business, you've got connections there. You know somebody, you are networked there. So if you watch my very first Ask DK show, I talked about leaving corporate, and one of my obsessions and something I'm constantly trying to get the answer to is when you leave corporate, or you finally know something, you found your why, you figured out what it is that you do and you do it better than anybody else, and you've decided to start your own thing, you know the whole industry backwards, and now you leave corporate, or you leave wherever you were and you start your next thing. I want you to start here. I don't want you to start at the bottom and literally eat the brown stuff in the muddy pools at the very, very bottom. I want you to start at the top, riding the waves, and then going on to bigger and bigger and bigger things, and catching bigger and bigger waves and being more and more successful. So my constant obsession is, how do you do that as an entrepreneur? So it's really important that you have a soft landing. So how do you have a soft landing? So for me in Manchester, it's really pertinent because I'm going to use as many resources as I possibly can to establish connections there. I'm going to physically go there. I'm going to meet people face to face, because there's nothing like being on the ground and meeting people face to face for them to see who you are, what you're about, and just determine whether they can trust you. Networking. People need to get who you are, and they're not just going to get who you are if you go to a conference and shake a hand and give a business card. There's got to be a deeper exchange in value. So I always find the best way to do things is to run an event, show people who you are, get them to know your style, get them to get a sense of your authenticity as much as possible. Go and meet people and see if you can add value. If you can't add value, then you don't belong there. You need to figure out what it is that you're going to do that's going to add value to people there. What is it that you do that is needed, and who needs it? And then just a matter of meeting as many people as you can and establishing, communicating to them how you're going to add value to their lives. So in terms of whether I should open in Manchester, London, Leeds or Birmingham, or whether you should open in Joburg, Cape Town or Durban, it all boils down to the same thing. Do you have a market there? Do you know the market there? Are you connected there? Do you know your customers? Do you know your suppliers? And it comes back to the same thing, which is research, groundwork. Take as much time as you need to first determine the need, to determine who the customers are, determine what their pain points are before you go in there. So you have to spend time immersing yourself in that market and getting a sense of the need, and getting a sense of the uniqueness of every single industry. But the short answer is Joburg. Just the same as the short answer here in the UK would be London. You could land in London. Yes, there's lots of competitors to what I do, but I will be able to find people who need me, and there's a lot more money flowing around. Same as in Joburg, there's a lot more money flowing around. If you're looking to land on your feet, possibly I would say try Joburg. There's more money there. Potentially my business would be 10 times bigger if I'd established in Joburg. But Cape Town, Cape Town is so beautiful. Why would I live in Joburg when I can live in Cape Town? So for me, money isn't everything. For me, lifestyle is important. So I want to be able to live an amazing lifestyle and run an incredible business. And so I've found the happy marriage of the two out of Cape Town. But it's really up to you and what your goals are, and how quickly you want to achieve them, and where your quickest routes to market, how networked you are, and how well you understand a market. So take the time to do your homework. That's all I can say. This is London Tech Week, and I've been listening to some amazing talks by some incredible speakers and looking at all the different leading technologies here from all over the world. So the last two questions that I'm going to roll into one is talking about market expansion and about market disruption. So how do you disrupt a market? That's one of the questions that you come to. Everyone's talking about how to be disruptive and how to, I was at a session yesterday where somebody was asking me, what's the new YouTube, what's the next Facebook, and I told that young individual if they could come up with that, then I'd quit my job and start with them. But basically everyone's looking for something disruptive. So I'll give you an example. YouTube has come along and disrupted the TVs. TV is now defunct. Nobody needs to watch TV anymore. Television is dying out. Why? Because everybody watches YouTube. So it's disrupted that market completely. It's made something free where it was paid for in the past. If you look at Uber, they've come along and disrupted the transport industry. You now no longer need to have a car. You don't need to use a taxi because, absolutely, you really don't even need to own a car. What I really think would have been disruptive is if Uber had taken their technology and had said to the entire world, all the app developers in the world, here's our app code base. Go and disrupt something. Go and disrupt hairdressing. Go and disrupt cleaning. Go and disrupt nanny services, and give us 1% of all the revenue that goes through the app. That for me would have been incredibly disruptive. They would have disrupted the entire world if they had taken that app and let it loose into the wild. That is true market disruption. So if you I come again back to what I was talking about earlier. It's about being an expert in something. If you're an expert in something, you'll know how to disrupt it. If you read that book on Elon Musk and how he talks about if you read the book on Elon Musk and the author goes through all of the various industries that he's disrupted, basically what he did was he took an industry that was dusty, that was old, and that everybody said could not be innovated, and he absolutely turned it over on its head, and he applied startup thinking to some very, very, very old, dusty industries. I mean, rocket science and rocket technology is not something that's people would think that you could bring a startup into, and that's exactly what he did. As well as solar. Solar was dry and dusty and gathering dust, and he came along and disrupted that, owned the market. Now he owns the solar, through his shares in his solar company, as well as obviously electric cars. So once again, we come back to, so the question was, how do I come up with the next disruptive technology? And you need to understand an industry backwards, and you need to be a subject matter expert in something interesting. And then from there, it's going to be a lot easier for you to work out how can you apply startup thinking to this industry and make something free that is paid for. I went to a meeting last week, and the first thing that came out of this prospective investor's mouth, talking to one of my prospective clients, was that they wanted to know about monetization. The most important thing out there is monetization. How are we going to make money? And I completely disagreed with them. It's not about monetization, it's about traction. And that's why Silicon Valley is different, because the investors in Silicon Valley expect you to get traction. That's all that they want. They want millions of users every day logging in and using your app. And then we can talk about monetization. We'll work out monetization once you've got market share. And so I think if you're partnered with somebody who's driving you to make money, then you're not partnered in the long term. You're not going to be able to be disruptive, because disruptiveness sometimes does not make money, because disruption is mostly taking a paid industry and making it free. So if we go back to the other question about market expansion, and we looked at market disruption, I think I've kind of covered all those questions. I've kind of rolled them all into one. But I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much for dialing into the Dylan Kolstad Show. This is London Tech Week. I've had an incredible week here in London. Still 2 more days to go for me. Following up on some clients, doing some amazing things, traveling all around. Hustle, 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 push, push, push. That's what I keep saying. Walk and push. As entrepreneurs, if you're sitting on your bum, you're not making money. You've got to be out there. You've got to be networking. Met some incredible people. You just got to be bold. You just got to be brave. You've got to just talk to the person next to you. It's been amazing that everybody that I've spoken to has been interesting, and I've been just handing out cards saying, please call me, give me your card, please can I call you, because I see opportunities to collaborate. And remember, it's not only always about sell, sell, sell. It's also about just, can I hook you up with this person? Can I hook you up with this person? I happen to know somebody who's looking for your services. Can I connect you? Be that super connector. Give things away for free, and you'll find that it comes back to you. Thank you so much, everybody. Here's to an amazing week, and I'll chat to you next week. Bye-bye. And don't forget, subscribe. Bye.